Yonzon, and I'm here to help you as your Netflix navigator. Now, sometime last year, we learned that Disney had plans to put up its own streaming service. Subsequently, that meant the cancellation of all Marvel Netflix shows. That's alright though, because even though some of the shows were really great, like Daredevil, especially Season 3, and Iron Fist Season 2, some of the shows were, in my opinion, not so great, like Defenders and Iron Fist Season 1. And then you've got Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, who were just alright, but they were kind of a slog to go through. Now, the loss of these Marvel shows, you can still watch them on Netflix, but that means there will be no more new seasons. Now, the loss of these shows means that there's some sort of dearth of superhero content on the streaming giant. That fortunately, there are a lot of comics out there that are just begging to be made into live action series. Fortunately for us, there's the Umbrella Academy, which is written by My Chemical Romance's Gerard Way and illustrated by Gabriel Ba. The Umbrella Academy is about a dysfunctional family that's of superheroes that's led by this guy called the Monocle, Reginald Hargreaves. Reginald Hargreaves is this billionaire who collects these, back in like 30 years ago, there were 43 women all over the world who gave birth mysteriously. Like Jesus, they gave birth to like Jesus, 43 Jesuses all over the world. So 30 years ago, they gave birth mysteriously to babies, and then Reginald Hargreaves went all around the world trying to buy up all these babies, and he ended up with 7 of them. So these 7 comprise the Umbrella Academy. It stars Ellen Page as Vanya, number 7, who doesn't actually exhibit any powers. And then you have number 1, played by Tom Hopper, who's called Space Boy or Luther. He's super strong, he's super big. And they have number 2, Diego. He has this preternatural ability to throw knives. And then you have number 3, Allison. In the comics, she's called The Rumor. She has the ability to alter reality. Actually, in the TV series, she has the ability to make people do things, right? She just has to say, I heard a rumor that you did something, and then they suddenly do it, okay? So that's kind of a really strong superpower. And you have number 4, Klaus Hargreaves, whose ability is to be able to speak with the dead, which, if you really think about it, is not a really great superpower. It's kind of a freaky superpower, because it's like you're being haunted all the time. And that's exactly what it is. It messes up his brain so much that he has to take drugs so that his power doesn't work, right? Because imagine that. If he doesn't take drugs, it's like he sees dead people all the time. So it's more like a curse. And it's just a really, really great character, and you really love him. He's so weird and queer and wonderful. He's one of the most lovable characters on the show. And then you have number 5, or just number 5, or the boy, because Sir Reginald Hargreaves is such a crap dad that he didn't even bother naming the kids, right? I think all of the kids sort of just picked their names as they grew older, but number 5 stays as number 5, and he has the ability to hop through time and space. And then you have number 6, who's, the start of the series, he's just dead. There's no explanation given. There's just a statue of him outside their mansion. And then you have number 7, Vanya, or the white violin, because, she plays violin and she's white. You'll figure it out when you finally get to watch the show. So it's a very dysfunctional family. They live in this weird, creepy mansion. Well, they don't live in this creepy mansion, but they have this creepy mansion where they all grew up in, and they've got this talking chimpanzee for a butler and a Stepford wife for a mom. So you can just tell how weird it is. It's sort of like the Fantastic Four if they had all of these family issues. So the story of Umbrella Academy is they come together after the death of their dad, Sir Reginald Hargreaves, and they're trying to figure out this mystery. And in the end, so throughout the course of that 10-episode series, they're going to have to stop the apocalypse. It's the end of the world, right? So the first thing that you notice about the Umbrella Corporation is the music. The soundtrack for this series is just bonkers. It's amazing. It's unlike other television series, or unlike even movies, where they use the music to sort of accompany the visuals. In some parts of the Umbrella Academy, it feels like the visuals are just meant to accompany the music. So it's kind of like watching several segments of music videos, but in a really, really good way. So some of the action sequences are really memorable. And one of my favorite scenes comes from the pilot, where Luther, number 1, or Space Boy, he puts on an album of Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now. And all of the members of the family start solo dancing. It's weird, it's funny, it's touching, and it gives it so much character. It's unlike other superhero series that you've seen before. Now, it sort of fills the niche that Netflix was looking for. All of the dark and gritty series that the Marvel Netflix series created, it's the Umbrella Academy fills that void with a little quirk and with an added quirk and weirdness. Now, it sort of works like how to make a dysfunctional family. You're watching that show, and if you want to mess up your kid, you just think, what would Reginald Hargreaves do? Or WWRHD. What would Reginald Hargreaves do? You just do what he does. You're sure to mess up your kid. So it's basically about post-traumatic stress disorder. It's about queer lifestyle. It's about how to cope with deformities, disabilities. And all of these are just touched upon. And the characters and how they interact with each other is just great. Ellen Page stars as Vanya Hargreaves, or number 7, and she's just really wonderful. You just grow to love her. All of the actors are just great in this, and they play their roles perfectly. The effects are great. The cinematography is top notch. You've even got Mary J. Blige as sort of like this Pulp Fiction-y character, Cha-Cha, with her partner Hazel, and they hop through time trying to kill number 5. So it's one of those, they have some really quirky characters that you really grow to love and follow. The action is amazing, the music is amazing, the cinematography is amazing. So the big question is it worth 10 hours of your life? The answer is yes, this is absolutely worth 10 hours of your life. It is going to show on February 15th, so set aside some time for the weekend for you to binge on. It'll take half a day, and it doesn't feel very long. Unlike some of the Marvel Netflix shows, like say Luke Cage, where you're watching it, and some in the middle of the season you're getting really, really tired because it just seems like it's just being stretched out. Now, the special effects are just amazing. There's not a lot of special effects throughout the entire series, but in the grand finale, during the apocalypse, it makes it all worth it. So you have the Marvel Netflix series, which sort of like underplays all of that superpower thing, which is very much opposite the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the Umbrella Academy, I think I might have been saying it as Umbrella Corporation throughout this whole podcast, but it's Umbrella Academy. So at the end, there's just some really cool special effects that you're gonna see, and it's worth it. Now you got to prepare some 10 hours of your life. When it shows February 15, go binge on it. Leave your comments below if you've seen it. Tell me how excited you are, and subscribe to this channel. I'll be your guide to watching your shows on Netflix.